So you're thinking about launching a career in project management in 2025? Well, you've come to the right place. Today, we are going to break down absolutely everything you need to know about the Certified Associate in Project Management, that's the CAPM, which is really your essential first step into the industry. So, what exactly is the CAPM? Honestly, the best way to think of it is as your official entry ticket into the world of project management. This thing is a globally recognized credential from the Project Management Institute, and it's built specifically for people who are just starting out. It proves you know the fundamentals. And here's the best part, and this is huge. You don't need any professional experience to get it. But is it the right move for you? That's the big question, right? Well, stick with me, because by the time we're done here, you're going to have all the info you need, from eligibility to the exam costs, to answer that question with total confidence. Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start with what the CAPM is. Then we'll check out who's eligible and decode what's actually on the exam. After that, we'll lay out a study plan, figure out the costs, and we'll wrap up with the part you're probably most interested in, the career payoff. All right, let's dive right into our first section. What is the CAPM, really? And why is it such a perfect gateway for anyone who wants to become a project manager? So why should you even be thinking about the CAPM in 2025? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. It proves you know your stuff, but you don't need any prior experience, which makes it absolutely ideal for students or people changing careers. And what's really cool is that it's super modern. It focuses on the hybrid and agile methods that employers are desperately looking for. Honestly, just think of it as the perfect launch pad to get you to the more advanced PMP certification down the road. Okay, starting to sound pretty good, right? Awesome. So let's tackle the next big question. Do you actually qualify for this thing? And here's some great news. The requirements are super straightforward. Seriously, there are only two things you need. Number one, a secondary degree. So a high school diploma or an associate's degree works just fine. And number two, you got to complete 23 hours of formal project management education. That's it. Yeah, let's talk about that number for a second. 23 hours. This isn't just a suggestion, it's absolutely mandatory. You have to get this training done before you can even apply to take the exam. It basically makes sure everyone starts on a level playing field with the same core knowledge. All right, now for the part everyone wants to know about, the exam itself. Let's pull back the curtains so there are absolutely no surprises on test day. Okay, here are the quick and dirty details. It's a 3-hour exam that you'll take on a computer. You're going to see 150 questions, but don't stress. Only 135 of them actually count towards your score. The questions aren't just basic multiple choice either. You'll see some drag and drop stuff too. And here's a little pro tip. There's no penalty for guessing, so you should answer every single question. And all of this is based on the industry Bible, the PMBOK Guide, 7th edition. Okay, now this is super important. This chart is basically your secret weapon. Just look at these numbers. Project management fundamentals, that's 36%. And business analysis frameworks, another 27%. You do the math, that's more than 60% of your final score, right there in those two areas. This literally tells you where to focus your study time. So, knowing what's on the exam, that's half the battle. Now let's talk about the other half. How do you actually prepare to win? Let's build a study plan. You know, most people who pass this thing dedicate a good 4 to 6 weeks to studying. It's a real sweet spot. And this timeline here is a fantastic way to structure it. Spend your first 2 weeks on the fundamentals and predictive methods. Then, the next 2 weeks, you dive deep into Agile and business analysis, those heavy hitters we just talked about. And then, for the home stretch, those last 2 weeks, it's all about one thing, taking full-length practice exams. And look, when you're doing those practice exams, here's the key. You want to be consistently hitting 80% or higher. Because this isn't just about proving you know the stuff. It's about building up the mental stamina and the confidence you're going to need to sit there for 3 hours and crush the real thing. All right, let's talk about the money. What's this actually going to cost you? So the total investment can really vary, but you're probably looking at a range somewhere between, say, $400 and $2,500. Where you land in that range really just depends on how you decide to study and if you join PMI. Okay, this chart lays it all out pretty clearly. So first, the exam fee. It's $225 for a PMI member, but $300 if you're not. The membership itself is $139. You can see right away, being a member saves you $75 on the exam. I mean, that practically pays for half the membership fee right there. The real wild card here is the prep course, which can run anywhere from a couple $100 to over $1,000. Okay, so we've talked about the work, we've talked about the cost. Now let's get to the fun part, the payoff. Why is this whole thing absolutely worth it?
How about we start with a really powerful number? On average, folks with a project management certification, like this one, earn 20 to 25% more than people who don't have one. That is a huge return on your investment.
So, what does that actually mean in terms of, dollars in your pocket? Well, the average entry-level salary for someone with a CAPM is somewhere between $70,000 and $90,000 a year. That's a serious boost to your earning power right from day one. But hey, it's not just about the paycheck, right? Having CAPM after your name makes you a way stronger candidate for jobs like project coordinator. It also knocks out a key requirement for the PMP later on. It just screams to employers that you're committed to this career. And since you have to renew it every few years, it forces you to keep your skills sharp and up to date. So there you have it. We've gone through the what, the why, and the how of the 2025 CAPM. It's pretty clear that it's a super accessible, really valuable, and honestly a brilliant strategic move to kickstart your career. So that leaves us with just one question, the same one we started with. Is the CAPM your next big career move?